When we hear the word demon, our minds often jump to the dramatic. Stop picturing spooky spirits lurking in every shadow, shaped by centuries of folklore and Hollywood horror. The images are familiar: contorted faces, guttural voices, and terrifying displays of supernatural power. We've been conditioned to expect a spectacle. And forget those popcorn exorcisms you see online, the sensationalized rituals designed for clicks and views. These portrayals, while entertaining, often miss the point entirely. They focus on the shock value, the fear factor, but they strip away the profound theological and human questions at the heart of the original accounts. They turn a story of liberation into a monster movie. The story of the Gadarene demoniac, the one with the demons and the pigs, reveals something far deeper, something more challenging and ultimately more hopeful than any horror film. It's not just about a supernatural showdown. It's a carefully constructed narrative about authority, identity, the nature of chaos, and the restoration of order. To truly understand it, we have to peel back the layers of modern interpretation and look at the story in its original context. So, stick with me. This gets more interesting than you might think. We're going to unpack what's really happening in this strange and powerful encounter. First, let's set the scene. This event doesn't happen in a vacuum. Jesus and his disciples have just crossed the Sea of Galilee, landing in the country of the Gerasenes. This is significant. It's Gentile territory, a region heavily influenced by Greek and Roman culture, part of a league of 10 cities known as the Decapolis. For a Jewish teacher like Jesus, this was foreign land, a place considered ritually and culturally unclean by many of his contemporaries. The very ground he walked on was steeped in a different worldview, one populated by Roman legions and pagan gods. This geographical detail is a crucial first clue. Jesus is deliberately stepping into a place of perceived otherness and chaos. And it is here, immediately upon his arrival, that he is confronted by a figure of absolute despair. In the Gospel, a man is tormented by a legion of demons. This isn't just a troubled individual. He is a man completely alienated from his community. He lives among the tombs, a place of death and impurity. He is naked, screaming, and so uncontrollably violent that no chains can hold him. He is the embodiment of a life utterly shattered, a human being whose identity has been completely consumed by the forces afflicting him. He is a man on the furthest possible margins of society, living in a land on the margins of Israel. There he meets Jesus, and in that desolate place of death and isolation, the moment changes everything. The encounter is immediate and electric. The tormented man runs and falls down before Jesus. For the first time, the chaos that defines this man's existence is brought into the presence of an ordering divine authority. Jesus asks a simple, powerful question: "What is your name?" It's a move to reclaim identity, to speak to the man underneath the chaos. But the response comes from the affliction itself. "My name is Legion, for we are many." This name is dripping with meaning. A Roman legion was a unit of thousands of soldiers, the primary instrument of imperial occupation and brutal force. By using this name, the narrative draws a powerful parallel between the man's inner torment and the oppressive military power that dominated the region. His personal chaos mirrors the political chaos of occupation. The spirits then beg, pleading, "Don't send us away from the country." They recognize Jesus' authority, and their immediate impulse is to negotiate the terms of their defeat. Instead, they plead to be allowed to enter a herd of pigs grazing nearby. This is perhaps the most bizarre and memorable part of the story. Why pigs? Why not just vanish? This strange request is the key to unlocking the entire episode. Why? One key reason is simple: self-preservation itself. These entities are portrayed as parasitic. They require a host to inhabit, to affect the physical world. To be disembodied is to be impotent. Their very nature is to occupy, to corrupt, and to control. Without a host, they have no purchase, no influence. Their request to enter the pigs is a desperate attempt to continue their existence in some form, any form, rather than face annihilation or imprisonment. But there's a deeper fear at play. Demons feared being sealed away, trapped in darkness forever. In the cosmology of the time, there was a place of ultimate punishment, a prison for rogue spiritual beings. They dreaded being sent into the abyss, a state of utter oblivion, a complete and final end to their destructive agency. The abyss represents total powerlessness. For beings defined by their power to disrupt and destroy, this is the ultimate terror. So they bargain. They see the pigs as a temporary refuge, a way to escape the immediate judgment of being cast into that void. They would rather inhabit an animal than face non-existence. Another reason, and this is crucial for the story's public impact, is that Jesus allows this to happen to expose their destructive nature, clearly and undeniably. The evil that had been hidden within the private torment of one man is about to be made shockingly public. For years, the townspeople had seen the effects, the broken chains, the screaming, the isolation, but they hadn't seen the cause in its raw, undiluted form. Jesus is about to give them a demonstration. Jesus gives the command, and when the spirits are released into the herd, they immediately rush the animals. The result is instantaneous and catastrophic. The chaos that was contained within one man now infects 2,000 animals. They overwhelm and drown the pigs in the sea. This isn't a random act of panic. It is a final defiant spasm of destruction. The spirits cannot help but destroy their host. It is their fundamental nature. They cannot create. They cannot heal. They can only annihilate. This dramatic action proves they truly harm others. The destruction of the herd of pigs serves as a sign act, a visible physical metaphor for an invisible spiritual reality. The pigs, which were a source of economic livelihood for this Gentile region, are sacrificed to make an undeniable point. The value of one restored human life is greater than a massive herd, and the nature of the force that afflicted him is pure destruction. They do not heal. Their work is destructive. The financial loss is staggering, but the lesson is priceless. Everyone who witnesses the aftermath now understands the true nature of the evil that had been living in their midst. Crucially, the episode showcases Jesus' ultimate authority, clearly. This is perhaps the central theme. In this foreign land, surrounded by symbols of Roman power and pagan belief, Jesus demonstrates a power that transcends them all. He controls even the spirit realm, commanding the demons. They recognize him, they beg him, and they obey him. His authority is not political, like Caesar's, or mythological, like the local gods. It is a fundamental, creative, and restorative authority over the very fabric of reality. He doesn't just subdue chaos, he expels it. He doesn't just silence the demons, he commands them. The proof is in the aftermath. The herdsmen flee and tell everyone in the town and countryside what happened. When the people arrive, they see two things that astound them. First, the drowned herd, a testament to the destructive power that was unleashed. But second, and more importantly, they see the man. The man who was once a figure of terror is now sitting there, dressed and in his right mind. The chaos is gone. The alienation is over. He is restored, whole and peaceful. The contrast is absolute. Where there was a legion of chaos, there is now one whole man. So it's not about the animals, it's a dramatic proof of restoration. The pigs are not the victims in this story. They are the visual aid. Their loss makes the man's gain visible to all. This story pushes back against the idea that some people are beyond hope, that some chaos is too great to overcome. It declares that restoration is possible even from the most extreme state of degradation. The focus is always on the liberation of the human person. The story confirms several truths in a single dramatic arc. Demons resist defeat, fighting desperately to avoid capture and oblivion. They reveal their violence openly and without shame, proving their nature is to tear down, not to build up. Their essence is anti-life. They take a human being, created for community and purpose, and drive him into the tombs, a place of death. They take a herd of living animals and drive them into the sea. The pattern is undeniable. And ultimately, Jesus still wins, restoring order completely. But the story has one final poignant twist. The townspeople, seeing the economic loss of the pigs and fearing the immense power they've just witnessed, ask Jesus to leave. They choose the familiar economy over the disruptive miracle. But the restored man begs to go with Jesus. Jesus gives him a new mission. Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you. The man who was once the terrifying outcast becomes the first missionary to the Decapolis. The story ends not with fear, but with testimony. It's a powerful statement that the purpose of liberation is not just personal peace, but restoration to a community for a purpose. The chaos is gone, the man is whole, and a new story of hope begins.